2.
Hey everyone, Corey from Aquarium Co-op here with Jimmy of Aquarium Co-op.
Hello, everybody.
Another Saturday morning, and I've decided, I think for at least a little while, we're just going to ramble and have a good time. I've had a little bit of a lull when it comes to picking topics, and I asked Jimmy to do it. He didn't want to do it. So, I thought, well, why do we even do these live streams? And the goal is so that I can talk with you guys. And so whether I have a topic or not, you guys can kind of bring the topic. Like, for instance, Occasional Aquatics with the $10 super chat says, thanks for setting up the Facebook Aquarium support group. Having a lot of fun helping and getting help from others. Any way to pin good topics? I've seen a lot of questions on algae. So, that's kind of a good place to start. We do have the Aquarium... Is it Aquarium group support?
Yes.
Yes,
That's
Aquarium
correct.
group support Facebook thing that's linked directly with our Facebook page. And yes, algae is talked about quite a bit there because I think it plagues most hobbyists. And so there is a way to pin one post, but right now we have that to be the rules. I think, and people know Facebook more than I do, I think we can make like little notes and documents off to the side. We can make like an algae guide if we wanted or something like that. But I've really been letting it be free run, so it's not just like a giant sales pitch from Aquarium Co-op or anything like that. In fact, there's no advertising allowed, myself included. Now that doesn't mean that no one could ever post a link or something like that, but it would be in bad taste for me to go post like, here's my sale. That's not allowed. But if someone said like, oh, you're looking to buy that product, it happens to be on sale at Dustin's Fish Tanks or something like that, then that would be a perfectly fine thing. So we're trying to keep it loose and actually good for the hobby as opposed to just good for Corey and Jimmy. So, that being said, we do have a sale today. Well, it's the whole weekend. We're doing a big Labor Day sale. You can use the code LABORDAY10. Will get you 10% off the entire website. So that's like lights and rocks and all those things that we don't really make money on anyway and are hard to ship. And then we've got, I'm going to read it off my own screen here because it's easier. We've got 10% off all live plants. Now, a lot of those plants might be out of stock. They were supposed to be in stock. They were shipped yesterday morning. But the hurricanes in Texas and stuff like that have delayed our flight. So after this, in fact, I'll be going to the airport to pick them up. So if you're really jonesing for some plants, maybe you got to check in a little bit later tonight because they will sell out. Plants kind of always sell out. And all the codes stack, by the way. So if you get 10% off with Labor Day 10... and the plants are 10% off, you're getting 20% off. We also have Catappa leaves at 30% off, plus that extra 10%. We've got the Easy Green at 15% off, so, you could do that as well. We've also got T-shirts at 15%, Super Glue Gel. We've got all the Aquarium Co-op foods at 10%, and Nerite snails. So we're going to ship out a bunch of Nerite snails. Well, I assume we're going to ship out a bunch of Nerite snails, because they're algae eaters, and people want them to eat algae. So, is this online only, Flynn asked? No, this is also in store. There's actually more promos going on in store. Like, we've got some fish sales, and we had that Eheim filter promo going on. But this is just kind of a big, I guess, push, if you will. Like the Labor Day weekend, buy some stuff from us. The goal is actually, I want to get our employees their sales goals so they can all get a raise, because it's good to get a raise going into this heavy season. And I definitely know for my employees and myself, the next 3-4 months are the hardest of the year because we're so busy. And so hopefully we can kind of knock that out of the way, get everyone a raise, get morale up, and then just kind of get through those brutal days like Thanksgiving, the day after Thanksgiving, the day after Christmas. Those days can be a little bit crazy for us. But they're good and definitely needed. We spend all year basically ramping up to this point. And then we hopefully sell a ton of stuff, and at the end of the day, we made $1 or $2. Most businesses are that way. You might have heard the saying like, you're in the red all the way till the day after Thanksgiving, and then you might start making some money. And that's kind of the same way. We have so many expenses with employees and stuff like that when you look at it just like numbers on paper, it'll give you an ulcer. But, the further we get in the year, you're going, all right, we're making it. But at the beginning of the year, you're going, oh, geez, how are we going to pull this off? But luckily, all you guys support us, and that makes it a lot easier. And then we try to give some sales to make it easier for you to support us. So, Joe Leonard with a super chat setting up a 40-gallon breeder for shell dwellers. Any advice, and what species would I recommend? I always recommend multis because I think they're the best. Similis are good too. Brevis, Ocellatus, like there's a bunch of good ones. But if I'm going for a big colony of them, I'm going to do multis. And so if you go in the Wayback Machine, like on the channel, you can see how I've done it in the past. I had a multi-combo with Cypachromis up above. I also did a Similis tank that was a 40 breeder that I put in a custom background and then all the shells. That was fun as well. I think the goal is have infinite shells and then let them do their quirky personality. I like to add Malaysian trumpet snails because they'll go and pick them up. When they crawl into their shell, here's Mr. Multi hanging out, and here comes a snail, and he's going, oh no, you won't get my eggs. And so it grabs it, and then it looks like it's got a trumpet in its mouth, and it swims all the way to the corner of the tank and throws it in the corner. Well, 10 minutes later, there's another snail coming from the other way, moving in on it, and it goes and grabs that one, so it keeps them active. They also eat algae, and it's just kind of a good time. Plus, your water's already going to be hard and higher pH anyway, so that the snail shells will thrive. So that's kind of a common setup I like to do with a 40 breeder, and I find it really fun to play with the lighting. So I do a little bit of plants in there, but one of my favorite tanks was I had like a spotlight, and it was like on a gooseneck, right? So it kind of came up and over and kind of like shot down into the tank and made like a sunbeam. We moved this camera. I don't like where it's at because this hand's getting cut off. Like right here, this needs to be on screen. So I'm moving this thing. Let's see if I can fix this.
You see your ladder there. A little bit more.
My ladder? Well, if we go there, my ladder's going to be even more. Right?
Oh, yeah.
So I can move. We can do. We're doing on the fly here. No, we go this way.
There you go.
There we go. So now, let's see. Am I at the right?
You look like a mime.
No, I need to be more over here. So
yeah, you're good.
All right, now I'm good. Sorry about that, guys. Things going to look crazy around here. Working on the hats, by the way. I've got at least. I'm waiting on a proof. I think I found a way I can get them down to reasonable level. We're going to do them in black because that seemed to be the most commonly requested color. But what do we got in the super chat, or not in the super chats, but the normal chat, Jimmy? What's going on with the weather?
Well, Corey. No. Well, I just want to say thank you to Rebecca for $10 super chat last week after we went off air. So I made a note to thank her for that.
Yeah, we did see it, but we felt bad we couldn't acknowledge it, so we got
Mo asking, what kind of plants can be glued to stuff?
So anything with the rhizome, and what that means is there's kind of like this big, thicker part, and then you've got all these leaves coming off of it, where like a stem plant would be this way, right? And then all the leaves come out sideways. So you got this big, thick rhizome, and those plants would be like Java fern, Anubias, African fern, which is bulbitis. So those are the ones that are common. But then there's other ones that aren't as common. Well, I guess Bucephalandra is getting more common. And then there's also, my brain will think of it, Hygrophila pinnatifida. So that's a kind of a rare one that will do it as well. There's probably a couple more, but my brain stops at those because those are the most common ones I'll deal with. And so... yeah, a little bit of super glue. Don't go crazy on it. You can just do a moderate amount. You just need it to stick there. The whole goal is that it doesn't float away. Not like, oh man, it can take a 2-year-old toddler just wrenching on it. So.
All right, so we got another question about the Aquarium group support. If they find so there's no YouTube advertising allowed, of course. But if you know a video of a step-by-step video, can you link it?
Definitely, yeah. So I think the goal is to be helpful and not be under the guise of helping yourself. So that, like, let's say someone's got a problem with ammonia, and let's say I have a video on ammonia, which I don't. But if I go in there and I link that video on ammonia, that is like self-serving. I'm there trying to kind of get subscribers, and yeah, I'm helping, but whereas if someone completely unrelated from me, Billy Bob from Florida, just goes, hey, I saw a video Aquariumcoop did on ammonia, let me link that. Or if they do it from, Dustin or Joey or whoever, that's genuinely trying to help someone. And it's a fine line. So that's why it even says in the rules, like, you can't advertise yourself. That being said, you also can't say, hey, Jimmy, I want you to respond to every comment you can ever see with one of our videos. That's the same thing right there. So we'll put the kibosh on that as well. The goal is actually grow a group, actually kind of care for one another, and actually help. You know, we've already had some shenanigans going on, people trying to troll. It was super easy. Guess what? You hit a button and they're banned forever. And then they're probably going to make another account, and they're going to come back in, and they're going to ban that account, and then eventually they're going to get bored. You know, that's the thing, is like, we have mods, and, you know, people, like, they always get super mad about it, and they go, well, I'm never buying from you again. And I'm kind of like, good, you know, I'm like, I don't run Aquarium Co-op to make millions of dollars. I run it to help people. And so that's a different thing for me, because if I want to make a ton of money, I could go work a lot of other jobs and make a ton of money. So when they threaten me with, well, I'm not going to buy your stuff anymore, you know, it's sad, but not, oh man, I better stop. Like, my goal is to make a better hobby in general, not just put dollars in my pocket, which I need to put dollars in my pocket to make a better hobby, but I'm not going to compromise. I'm not going to let people win with the threat of their dollars when it, you know, when it comes to something like that. Now, if there's a legitimate cause, like, hey, my product wasn't right, you know, obviously we're going to make that good, but I won't give in to outside influence with money, I guess, you know, when it's like, well, I'm going to do this. And if you guys saw it on a live stream a long time ago, I got into it with a guy, you know, he was, I don't even remember what the beef was, but I was like, good, then don't buy from us. Like, you know, if that's the attitude, then, you know.
All right, so Flynn has a live bear question. In your experience, do live bears do better in ponds? Mine seems to do much better in ponds than tanks. What do you think about this?
I would say so, yeah. I think the introduction of a lot of algae and a lot of natural bugs and then sunlight, I think those three elements really do well for live bears. I think they color up a lot more, especially if we're supplementing feeding too. Like, that's, I find that to be the crux of outside pond fish. If you feed pretty heavy every day, you will make some monster gorgeous live bears. If you get a little lazy and you're like, I'm feeding twice a week, you know, then that's, you know, not going to be nearly as effective. But I do think all things equal, like same amount of food and stuff, but one's outside, one's inside, I find them do a lot better outside. But I can't do it all the time, unfortunately.
Everybody is glad I'm still here and not fired from my live stream I did a couple of days ago where I went vertical.
Did you fire yourself?
Yeah. And then I saw you pull up and I'm like, oh man, I gotta go. If this is the last time you guys see me, you guys know exactly why.
Oh man.
So it was a disaster. All right. Hi guys. Does carbon remove fruits from a planted tank?
It can. So this is one of those subjects that, being that I'm not like a scientist, I can't explain why it would happen or which molecules is going to pull out. So we have to rely on studies that we've read online, and the common wisdom is, yes, carbon will pull some things out. My brain doesn't know what those things are, but like CChem labs and stuff will confirm it. They claim like their Purigen won't do it. In my experience myself, I don't really use carbon, but when I had customers using carbon and they would dose fertilizers, they didn't really notice ill effects because we're like reading for nitrates and stuff like that. And if the carbon pulled out, let's say it pulled out like 50 nitrates, and then you test your tank and it says it's a 0, you just dump more fertilizer in. So it's kind of, I think it's working against you, but it's not an end-all be-all. It's not like, oh man, you have fertilizer and carbon, it's not going to work. I think you probably just have to use more carbon than you would have. Kind of like CO2 with agitation at the surface. If you have no agitation, it takes less CO2 to hit saturation. If you have some agitation, it takes a little bit more. But I'd much rather have a lot of agitation and use a little bit more CO2 than not. And, you know, I don't know enough about carbon to know if we're absorbing, let's say, phosphates, ammonia, nitrate, will that use it up and prevent us from absorbing like cologne and lotion and those types of things that are the real threat to our aquarium? I don't know enough to know that answer. So
okay, so Scotty Diaz seems to be having a problem with plants. His fish destroyed his Java fern, his Anubias, his Anacris, everything except hornwort. So do you have any plants left that he could try?
What type of fish did it? Just
he
fish?
doesn't. He just said
okay.
Fish.
So I would try Java fern. So hornwort's known to not taste very good, and then Java fern's known to not taste very good. Don't ask me how I know that. That's just what people say. They know, like, oh yeah, my plants get eaten except for hornwort and Java fern, and the common consensus on the internet would be, oh, they don't taste very good. That being said, I've never tasted either of them, so they, you know, I think are just less likely to be eaten is the easier way to say that. So
Okay, so Kimstosis Aurelius, longtime supporter. I ran out of API stress coat 2 months ago, so I've been using Prime for water changes. And now my fish seem to be falling apart. Is not using a stress coat product doing this to them?
maybe.
That's
I wouldn't say, I mean, I would hesitate to say directly that switching just the dechlorinator shouldn't make a difference, but we don't know what type of fish they are. So, like, let's say there are a bunch of Lake Victorian cichlids and are kind of nipping at each other a bunch. All those little wounds or whatever you want to call them could use a little bit of stress coat to help even that out. That might be a thing. But I don't know. I feel like there's something else going on. Usually our human brains go, what's the thing I changed? I changed that thing. That has to be the answer instead of something else. So I don't think so. But while we're thinking about stress coat, I would say it is known that stress coat does not work with carbon and purigen. So that's just another thing, is that will suck that out because it's basically aloe vera. And so, watch out for that.
I just had to switch screens because I had to sneeze real quick. So hopefully you guys didn't hear that. Didn't have time to read any more questions. You see anything?
No, but I see Nightbot saying, hey, if you're going to the aquatic experience, make sure you sign up. So do sign up, because I'm starting to buy the event only merchandise. I don't want to spoil what it is, but it's custom made things. So that's kind of cool. It was confirmed that we will have a booth. So we will for sure have a booth for all the YouTubers. You can come and meet us. I think, and I'm not, I haven't seen the floor plan yet, but I think it's going to be a bunch of booths in a row. So there's going to be one for all YouTubers, anyone that wants to show up. Then we've got Flip Aquatics. And then I think we've got Dustin's Fish Tank, because they're both getting their own booth because they live close enough they can drive there and bring their wares to sell. Cool. Whereas flying my wares in don't make any sense. And I want to spend time, working on hanging out with you guys and not making a buck, if that makes any sense. Not that, let me back that up. I'm not trying to say that's their only motive, but if I had to fly stuff in and do all that kind of stuff, it doesn't make sense for me to do it. So yeah, that if it was local, I would drive bunch of stuff there.
Let's talk more about that booth though. Can all YouTubers show up and just sit there and just say hi to people, or is it just for?
I would say yes.
People, or
I mean, I don't know. I don't want to speak for everyone, right? So what if me and Jimmy are mortal enemies and there's kind of a weird thing going on there? Okay, I can't speak for everyone, but the goal is at least the ones that are in the video, we plan to show up. We plan to hang out there. In a perfect world, maybe we do a schedule thing. Hey, Corey's going to be here. Hey, calm down. The turtle moved and the dog's freaking out. Hey, come on. Never going to stop. I'll just have to keep talking. Where was I at? Oh, maybe a schedule Corey's going to be here from 2 to 4 or whatever. I plan to be there a lot, but, if you really want to meet up with Lucas Bretz and maybe he's in the shrimp contest and maybe he's in the aquascaping contest, maybe hey, Saturday at 3, he will be there. And so there's that. I think I'm trying to phrase it without offending people. I got to get rid of this camera. I keep looking at this camera. This camera is not helping me today.
will there be a banner too?
Depends. Yeah, maybe. Okay. If we invest in one. I think it's going to be easy to find us, but I don't want to. I'm trying to think of a better way, a more, not politically correct, but I was trying to say let's say you're a YouTuber that's got 87 subscribers and you do fish and you're cool. Can you take a seat at the table? Yeah, you can sit down, you can hang out, but I think what's going to happen is there's going to be a booth. And then there's going to be a bunch of people just hanging out talking. I think that's what's actually going to happen. But I can't know because we've never done it before. And we're kind of flying by the seat of our pants, if you will. Hey, let's try this thing. Let's see if we can make it awesome and not horrible. And I don't want to promise the best thing ever. And you're yeah, that thing was horrible. I spent how many thousands of dollars to fly here and this is all you got? Whereas next year we could be hey, look what we did. And we're going to do it even better. So I know I'm trying to get a few little things to give away. I want to hang out. I just want to be, I want to do what we're doing right now with one on 5. everyone's standing around, we're talking, we're making fun of each other, we're having a good old time. That's the goal. If I can achieve that and all the other YouTubers can achieve that, I think that's a huge success. So,
well, that sounds like a lot of fun.
What do you got for me, Jimmy?
Everyone's just talking about the sign, like where do you sign up? It's on his Aquarium Co-op website.
Yeah, at the top it says Chicago, and it basically asks you, have you ever been before? And then you say yes or no, and then you put your name and your email. I think that's all you got to do. So, yeah. Will there be a bunch of booze? No, I don't drink, so I usually shy away from most conventions where the drinking's going on because I don't like it. So,
so I'm setting up the 30-gallon for breeding red cherry shrimp. Would also breeding endlers eat too many of the shrimplets that it would slow it down shrimp population growth?
It'll slow it down, but I definitely could breed both of them. Like I breed guppies, and they're a bigger fish. I think it depends on how much cover you give them and how much food you give them. Give them a lot of food and a lot of cover, I think you make a lot of shrimp. And it's more enjoyable for me.
That booth is going to be Highlander. There can only be one.
King of the booth or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to see, part of me wants to do super fun things like trivia. Like, what if we had a little trivia survey, like, from all the different YouTubers and different videos, and then you won something? Like, there could be so many cool ideas, and then I could just be crazy busy. As we talked earlier, this is like my busy season, and it could be me showing up in my sweatpants going, oh my God, I barely made it here, guys. I had to run to the plane. It was horrible. But in my mind, I got big things planned, and in reality, we'll see what actually comes out.
So, the co-op coop. Yeah, that's pretty much kind of done. We just need to put some springs onto it. Is there still time to do that?
Oh, the van?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the van is going to get some helper leaf springs and all that so we can move heavy stuff. Yeah, but it's like ready to go. We got the cots in there. We got the refrigerator. We got the center console in. We got to go buy some sweater boxes and stuff to store things like maybe some utensils, maybe jumper cables, like things you want on the road that you don't know that you want till you're 3 days away from home.
Yeah,
we
have
what do you
been
mean we didn't pack underwear?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Makeshift.
The good news is I'm pretty sure we could roll into any Walmart or Fred Meyer or anything like that and just buy what we need.
Yep.
But I don't want to get stuck in the middle of nowhere and be like, what do you mean we don't have jumper cables? Well, I left my laptop plugged in for 6 hours while we slept. That was a bad idea.
So the route we're planning to take is a lot wider than we thought because we might go through St. Louis and Colorado.
Yes. There's some fish room tours I'm lining up.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I want to hit this super chat before we lose it. Michael Trevino, can you help with some info on L134 leopard frog plecos? I'll cover some basics. They get about that big. They like hotter water. I keep them at 84, 85. Dean, who you might have watched that video on the main channel, also keeps them that warm. Usually at least 2 years before they hit sexual maturity. They're a carnivore. They like lots of meat in there. They're pretty shy, though. So like in my tank, I run a ton of water lettuce, and there's a lot of tannins in the water, and that brings them out a little more. And then Jimmy set up a bunch of caves, so they're starting to cave up now, which is a sign they're at least even starting to think about breeding. Thinking about it. Doesn't mean they will, but, it's like I'm thinking about, losing a bunch of weight and working out. I'm thinking about becoming a taco master. Doesn't mean I will. These are things you're thinking about. Might take a few more months still.
Flynn, there will be chocolate milk there, yes.
Where? Oh, I hope so. Everyone that meets me, bring me chocolate milk. Everyone always wants to bring me tacos.
Bring them chocolate milk.
Tacos, so here's the perfect storm, right? 3 people show up and they go, here, I got you a taco. And then you've got too many tacos, and then tacos that you don't eat right away that are crunchy just become bad. But if everyone's tacos. Like, here's chocolate milk, you're like, sweet, let me put the rest of these in the fridge. I'm golden.
And this is our segment on food again. So.
Oh, yeah. That's really when I said I don't want topics. Really, it was so I could talk more about food. That was the real...
what about our trip to Madison? Still happening.
Yeah, so that's the trip we're planning. So what I've learned, or what we've learned, it is way harder to plan that trip than we thought. So we started working on it a couple days ago, and we thought about visiting Candy Overholes and Kanglee, stuff like that, right? That makes sense. We're like, sweet, that's going to work. But then, like, I think Candy's like 12 hours away from us. So then it gets kind of weird. Like, what time in the morning do we leave? Does she have to be at work? Do we have to get there at like 7 p.m.? Like, we don't want to arrive late at night. We also couldn't arrive if someone was at work. Like, we really got to make our schedule. So I'm not sure we're hitting people on the way there yet. We might hit people on the way back, because on the way back, we're not necessarily bound by time, right? If we get home 2 days later, not the end of the world. But we can't take 2 days longer to get there. We'll miss the convention. So it's a good thing we planned this out to do this little trip right now, because we would have not learned how hard it was to go, okay. Because then, like, King Lee's like another 12 hours from it. And we're thinking, like, well, let's say you leave at 8 o'clock in the morning. That means we get to Candy's house at 8 p.m., but really, that's 12 hours of driving, so it's really probably 10 o'clock with all the snafus that come up while driving and getting gas. And then, so it's like, do you start hanging out and filming at 10 o'clock at night, and then you go to sleep, and then you wake up and you drive 10 hours, and you got that problem again at King Lee's house? So it's like, dang, this is a lot harder than we thought.
Yeah.
You know, so then we thought maybe we spend one day, like 24 hours in each place, but now we got to leave way sooner to get there. All of a sudden, it's like 6 days to get there instead of like 4. And so we haven't decided yet. We don't want to commit to anything yet, but we are learning the process. And, you know, I think it would be easier if they were more hours away. I don't know that to be true, though. But like if it was 18 hours, I feel like, oh yeah, we could drive really long. We'd get there in the morning. We'd be tired. We could sleep. And then, let's say she gets off work or whatever, we could check out the tanks and, you know, meet and greet and have some fun. And then be on our way again or something. Like, I don't know. But so far what we've seen is like, oof, this is going to be real hard. I don't know how we're going to do that yet.
Okay, so whereabouts in Michigan are you speaking on October 14th?
October 14th, Michigan, Grand Rapids, I think. GVACC. Grand Rapids Valley Aquarium CC. What's this? Club? Something? It's on the Facebook. So if you go to our Facebook page, which I know everyone hates Facebook, I get it. But they got a nice calendar feature, and I do put the events on there. You can click a thing. You can get the website. There's probably the address, the time, all those kind of pertinent details. Go there, and you can see what I'm doing. Like, I'm speaking at the Greater Seattle Aquarium Society in 10 days. So that'll be fun. My home turf will be the second time I've ever spoke here. And then, pretty much after that, we load them up, and we drive to Wisconsin.
Okay, give this guy 2 tips on how to breed orange laser cories.
Okay. Stuff the aquarium with mass. So what that means is you could use an infinite amount of spawning mops, a lot of Java moss, a lot of plants, but make it so you can't see the fish. If you can't see the fish, you're doing it correctly. If you can see them, you have not put enough stuff in there. So do that. Then I want you to feed an insane amount of food. And what I mean insane, let's say it's rapashi, and let's say you got 6 of them. They should still be eating on that tomorrow. If you put it in right now, 24 hours from now, I want to see them still eating on it. When they get that much food, it really plumps up those females, and they'll start spawning. And for me, which Jimmy's seen how many we have, I colony spawn them. So they were just in there, and they can't see each other. They raise up. There's all that gunk in the mops and all that kind of stuff. They eat off that, and it works out super awesome for me. And at least one other person was doing it the same way. We both had a lot of luck that way.
Okay, hey guys, love your channel. Went into my local fish store the other day and bought a lyre tail guppy. It looks very similar to an Endler color-wise. My question is, are they mixed with an Endler to achieve the tail?
Depends. A lot of them nowadays are, but there's like the Vienna greens and stuff like that were developed a long time ago that weren't crossed. But most likely today what you see has been crossed, yeah. I want to address this super chat. LG3 Nation, he would never let a live stream go by without donating to the fund. Thank you, buddy.
Thanks, bud.
Just adopted 3 mice today. Random question to Jimmy or Corey. Have you guys ever or want to someday own mice or any rodent? I'll let you handle that first because I have no idea for you.
Mice or rodents?
Yeah.
Guinea pigs are pretty cool. I don't know. They seem like a lot of work and they seem kind of smelly. Or a chinchilla or a chimichanga.
So I've had, growing up, before I was into fish and stuff like that, obviously I like to breed fish. I bred rats. So bred lots of
Are you
rats.
serious?
I did.
That's funny.
And I got 50 cents per, rat that big, I guess. And my mom didn't tell me that they were snake food, but I was just turning them in thinking they're finding good homes, but she didn't have the heart, and that's probably a good thing. I probably didn't want another snake food. I wasn't making a lot of money. I was basically buying supplies, but kept me busy, so that was kind of cool. And then my wife absolutely loves hamsters. We had hamsters earlier in our relationship. We had Pineapple, who was the best hamster, little dwarf Chinese hamster, best hamster on the planet.
I had one of those, yeah.
Yeah. And then we had, what was the other one's name?
I like Pineapple.
Yeah, Pineapple was awesome. The other one, I don't remember what its name is off the top of my head. I feel horrible for that. But should have been called Bitey, because no matter how much we tried to handle it and socialize it and that kind of stuff, just loved to bite the crap out of you. And it was one of those things like, I've built you a wonderland, because we would build giant extravagant cages, spoil them with every treat that money could buy. We really had a lot of fun building stuff, like let them chew this thing that we made. Like, it was super fun. But that thing, I remember its name, Esther. Esther was its name. It was a gray, and I think it was Robovorsky? So it was not the Chinese hamster, and it was more aggressive and couldn't live with Pineapple because it was so aggressive. And, it just, as we called it, little old lady hamster wants to live alone, doesn't want anyone interfering with her life. So we did that as least as possible. We'd clean the cage, we'd do some enrichment, but did not want to be held after many months of trying. And, it is what it is. So yes, we have had rodents. If I had a rodent on my radar that I would want to try, it would be a skinny pig, and that is a hairless guinea pig. I think that might be fun.
A skinny pig.
Yeah, they call them skinny pigs. I would try one of those. I've never kept a guinea pig, mind you, but some reason they look amazing to me.
Are ferrets legal here?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's
Yeah,
just
you
a
can
California
get a
thing.
whole gaggle of ferrets. Yeah.
Is that what a group is?
It is now. So,
All
yeah.
right. I have a L183 starlight that laid eggs for the first time, but the male kicked the eggs 3 days later.
Yep.
Any idea why?
That's hard to know. Is it just the pair? Some young pairs will kick them out early. If there's more than a pair, maybe he's trying to spawn with someone else. I would recommend getting those eggs up into like a breeder box. You can still hatch them out. Usually you get pretty good odds still. You just want to make sure that you don't let too much gunk collect on them. So that's why they fan the eggs. They don't want debris to settle on the eggs and make them fungus.
Okay, Corey, school me on Rapashi food before I make an order. About how much usable food do you get out of 3-ounce jars? Which version would you recommend for Corey cats?
Okay. So the easy math, and it's not always this way, but almost every blend is this way. It's 3 parts water to 1 part powder. So with 3 ounces of food, you're going to make about 12 ounces of food. So that's a little bit less than a pound. So if you buy a 3-ounce container, once you make that thing up, you'll have 12 ounces of food. And so you can obviously, if you buy a pound container, you're going to make 4 pounds of food. You don't have to make it all at once. You could make a tiny little bit if you wanted. That's what I normally do. I make enough that I can feed in a day or two. And for Corridoras, I myself, the one I always recommend, if you've never done Rapashi before, buy the community blend, because what you're going to find is those Corridoras are going to love it, but then all your other fish are going to like it a lot too, or at least mine do. You can get some more specialized stuff, but I like having the base of community, and then you could try mixing in some other stuff if you wanted to. Corvus Ocean is here. By the way, I don't get paid to say this, but the person I watch the most on YouTube is Corvus Ocean.
We watch the most.
Like, I am always in his live streams. He doesn't always talk about fish. Yesterday he was talking about painting. He was painting crystal shrimp and green Hulk shrimp and all that kind of stuff, which was super awesome. But I would love it more than anything if a bunch of you guys who are cool people went in there, hung out. He does them, now he's doing them Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Pacific time. You can pretty much catch me there. You can ask me questions, but Corvus, well, his name is Joel actually, is crazy knowledgeable. I would say every bit as knowledgeable, if not more than I am. He knows a ton about saltwater, and just a super cool dude. That's the important part, is cool dude. He's got a rad radio voice, way better than mine. He's always doing interesting things. He's kind of practicing sustainable stuff. His significant other is cool. He does a lot of hiking, and there's only about 25 people, so it's a super intimate setting, which is really cool. And he answers your questions. He shows you what he's doing. I can't get enough of it. I literally have a ton of fun there. And, I would have, if you had asked me, oh, yeah, well, I tune in every day at 4 o'clock for someone else's stuff, I would have told you, no way. I am way too busy for that. But he hits me like right at my tacos are wearing off time. So it's like, oh, man, I'm starting to get hungry. And so I typically am starting to scrounge around for food at about 4 o'clock. And then it's Joel or Corvus. He hits me right in that zone. And I'm like, all right, now I got to sit down and, take a break and eat some food and watch my Joel kick. And he only runs for an hour, which is, it's a good time. So, he's got about 5,000 subscribers, but he was in the channel, kind of left for a while, came back. And there's a lot of us, I don't want to call us hardcore, but die-hard Corvus Ocean fans that show up every day and just talk, and it's a really cool time. And I'm hoping to be on his live stream sometime soon. And I want to get him on this live stream because I guarantee if he was on camera right now, you'd be like, who is this guy? Why haven't I seen him? He knows a lot. He's super cool. He's funny. And he's got the rad radio voice. He's, I don't know how many things that was, but I'm going to call it the trifecta, even though I think it was 4 things. He's the trifecta of 4 things, people. Let it be known. You got to figure out what the one thing isn't.
People are wanting the Corvus link. Paging Nisi, are you there?
Nisi,
are you there?
Yes. Dr. Nisi?
Okay, Jimmy and Coy, what's your favorite fish for a 4-foot-long 65-gallon tank? I never had one.
65, so it's going to be a
60.
taller 55. My favorite fish for that? What would I do right now? So if I was going to do a 4-foot-long 65 right now, my fish hankering is definitely being pulled towards Tenopoma leaf fish. I would do like a group of 6 of those things. I'm jonesing to have them back in my life. I haven't had them in probably 8 or more years. And I keep seeing pictures pop up here and there going, ooh, those things are super cool. So,
everyone's like quadfecta?
Quadfecta.
Tuno is not a word, sir.
Someone did that in the comments again yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that one.
They're literally like, yeah, uno, but 2 is not tuno, it's dos. And I'm like, all I replied back was sarcasm, period. They don't, and I get it. Like, if you don't know me at all, you just think I'm some crazy idiot. You don't realize that, like, this is the 7 millionth bag of fish I've held up before or box I've unboxed, and saying tuno makes me giggle inside a little bit and makes it fun.
Let's see. Hey, Jimmy, Aquarium Co-op. Can I contact Corey or you personally? I want to ask you something. You have our email.
Yeah, store at aquariumcoop.com. You can get to us through there.
And I'm editor at aquariumcoop.com.
Yeah, we don't answer a lot of emails on the weekends because we try and get stuff done. But, yeah, editor at aquariumcoop.com. If you want to ask Jimmy gets a lot less emails than I do.
Yeah.
So we're more likely to get back to it sooner. And if it's important, well, okay, let me rewind that. I'm not saying your question's not important. But if it was like, oh, man, this seems super time sensitive, he can lean over and be like, hey, Corey, what do you think about this?
That's true.
Whereas like me, the problem, and it's going to sound bad, but my email is only filled with time-sensitive stuff. And so, like, people are like, my fish are going to die today if you don't answer. And it's like, yeah, but same with these 800 other emails. That's the only email I get. So I would never have any downtime if I only answer that. And I always tell people, like, hey, you're more than welcome to purchase a paid consultation. I will take time out of my day, and I will make that happen ASAP. Like, as soon as possible, for real. Like, I did one in the middle of the night on 4th of July. That's, but all of a sudden they're like, well, it's not that serious. I didn't want to pay for it. And it's like, well, then I'm going to continue to eat dinner with my family if that's all right. And then come Monday morning, I will work on the backlog of 800 emails, and I will definitely get to your question.
Ooh, she's like, he's definitely saying your question isn't important.
Yeah, I'm here to tell you your question isn't important. No, everyone's question is always important to them, yeah. And it's just a true statement. Like, oh man, I gotta find out on the internet. Like, I do that all the time. My wife's like, I'm like, hold on, I gotta find the answer.
Flynn is thanking you because he's taking Spanish class this year, and the tip for the tuno thing, and he's glad it's not two. So
you should troll your Spanish teacher by saying Tuno.
But this guy on the internet who has 85,000 subscribers says...
Yeah, just keep saying
It's
Tuno.
Tuno.
Like, no matter how many times he corrects you, do everything else in the class absolutely perfect. Be like the poster child of learning Spanish. But have that one quirk that just drives that guy nuts, because it'll be hilarious, and he'll remember you forever. It'll be funny.
All right, so Tim Lewis is very determined to get this question answered because I've seen it like 4 times.
All right.
How many Panda Koi should I put in a 20 long? I have 10 Priscilla Tetras
Priscilla Tetras, yep.
and 10 albino white clouds in there as well.
I would do, in a 20 long, I go heavy-handed. I would do like 10. I wouldn't do less than 6, but I would do 10, because 10 little pandas scurrying along, that's a sight to behold. I like that. So I would do 10. Yeah, it's going to set you back $60 or so. But the other thing, I don't bring this up enough. Like at 6, if you walk into my store and you're like, hey, I want 6 of these things, we're like, great. We bag them up when we sell them to you. But a lot of times you could go, hey, if I bought 10 of these things, you give me $1 off each? And we'd probably be like, all right. You know, so sometimes when you buy that bigger bulk, you might be able to save a little bit of moolah as well. Or especially, like, this is my favorite move. I used to do it all the time. Let's say you walk in and that store's got 8 of those things. You buy 8, ask them like, hey, you got 8 of those corridors left in that tank. How about I buy 7, you give me the 8th one free? Now, it's not going to work at like a Petco and a PetSmart, but any mom and pop store is probably like, yeah, because we don't want 1 or 2 left in the tank. They're probably not going to do as well, and then they're not enough to get someone else started on the next school. So a lot of times we want to wheel and deal and make sure they go to a right home. You get more, we get rid of them. We can put the next group in. It's kind of a win-win. I'd love to buy a whole tank worth of fish.
Sounds good. Corey, do you still do business consults as well?
Definitely, yeah. I do. There's some recurring clients that we do every single week. And then, it's kind of a weird thing. With the business consults, because it's an expensive rate, a lot of people go, well, I don't need your advice, Corey. But the people I do work with are making an insane amount more money than they used to, because I give you, like your $200 1 hour session cost me $200,000 to figure out. Like, that's the reality of it. And so I can help advance really quickly. And for me, what it shows me is, if you don't have the $200 to invest in getting your answer found, you either A, haven't looked hard enough to find that answer, because if you really know that answer's not out there, oh man, I really need that answer, I'm going to pay the money. Or B, you're not in a position to really act on the info I give you. So like, my time is kind of limited, and I can impart some real wisdom on that business. But if you're just in the stages of like, oh, well, I'm 13 and I'm thinking about starting up a fish store when I'm 27, like, you could just wait 10 years and then really get those questions dialed in. And I want people to have like a list of questions. We go over them. And my goal is to actually help you as much as I can. And if you read the reviews on the consults, I don't think I've ever had a bad one. I would probably refund your money. If you were like, man, this is a giant waste of my time, I would just refund your money because I would feel horrible. But my goal is to give you way more value. Like, if you don't make $2,000 from spending $200 with me, I've failed you horribly. So yes, I still do them.
Another alternative for fish questions is the Aquarium group support. So
I've been funneling more and more people to the Aquarium group support. And that is just because people like Corvus hangs out there, Jimmy's there, my employees are there, we've got other people there. And on the weekend, we can crowdsource some of these things. So a lot of the questions I get are like, what would you put in a 10-gallon aquarium? And yeah, I can weigh in on that. But imagine you ask that question in the group and 10 other people weigh in, and then I weigh in on it. And now you've got 11 different suggestions and a real thing to play with there, instead of, just one person's opinion.
Dustin Turner says, hey guys, what kind of turtles do you have? What's a good beginner turtle besides Reddy or Slider?
I think the Diamondback Terrapin's a good beginner.
I love that.
You had one, right? Or you had 4?
I had 4 baby ones.
Yeah, I like those a lot.
Very, very cool.
Because they don't get nearly as gigantotron as red-eared sliders.
What about the mini musk?
The mini musks are cool, but they can be hard to get a hold of because they're usually always under 4 inches.
Uh-huh.
And so you'd have to go to like a turtle expo. Is that the right word? Like a reptile show to probably pick some up legally, unless you have a friend that's like breeding them or something like that.
So KG asks, have you done any maintenance on your FX6 yet?
No, I have not, and I don't plan on doing it anytime soon. Why, you ask? Because that giant pond filter is the pre-filter. So everything goes through there first, then it goes to the FX6. And so I did back flush the pond filter, but like nothing was coming out. Like even though I have a ton of fish, they're all small, and so I'm not really getting a lot of debris. I did figure something out, by the way. I think my cloudiness was I had so much flow going on in there that nothing could ever land or anything like that. So I turned it down a little bit, and that's helping the clarity a little bit. And I'm trying this. So I'm holding Corvus accountable. He loves Puro Clean polishing pad. I ordered some for myself, and I'm going to try it. After researching it, it's down to 15 micron. I couldn't find what micron these were, but I'm hoping that polishes me up a little bit better. And plus, it's only like $13. So, if it's, I'm going to hold them to that $13, hit to my account if it doesn't filter. But it should filter at least as good as this. So I really got nothing to complain about. But he loves it, and he tried some other stuff and didn't like it as much. And so I said, you know what? This is a dude that knows a decent amount about a decent amount of things, and I trust what he usually has to say. He's honest, and he's not sponsored by anyone, so it's honest info of like, this product sucks, this one's good, I like this one. So I'm gonna give it a try, give it a whirl. Worst case scenario, I bought a little bit extra floss for a few weeks.
So Deacon's asking, the Greater Pittsburgh Aquarium Society is having an auction on the 10th. I want to know if I could post it on the Facebook page.
I would say no. So it's just because that's the kind of advertisement. Like we had someone post some GoFundMe. So like there was that store that like caught on fire and stuff like that. And it's not that I'm against helping that store. It's that when you take a group of 2,000 people and they're all passionate about a hobby, pretty soon if you have 1% of those people posting every 3 days about a GoFundMe or an event or something like that, that's going to be what, like 20 advertisements, and that's like 10, not 10 a day, that's like 7 a day, and it's just going to start flooding the group. So I would prefer if you didn't. I'm not going to say if it got posted that I would instantly go and delete it, but at the same time, the goal is we don't want it to be a slippery slope where it's like, well, okay, let's do this one. Okay, let's do this one, and then let's do this one. And then pretty soon we're losing sight of what we were trying to do, and that is, help people and talk about actual fish things. But I do get it. I do love like hobbyist groups, local clubs. They are very, very important. I'm just afraid the slippery slope of like, well, you let this guy do that. My thing's just as close to that as this, and so I'm trying to avoid that. So unfortunately, it's like a necessary evil, I guess, that we can't do it. So
all right. So what are some bottom dwellers that won't eat killie eggs?
Bottom dwellers that won't eat killie eggs. Ooh.
Aren't most killie eggs you have to take them out?
Yeah, but some of them you can spawn in the tank. Killifish will usually eat their own eggs. The problem is I can't think of anything that won't eat their eggs that the killifish won't eat. So like let's say you got gardener eye killies, like the shrimp aren't going to really eat their eggs, but the gardener eye killies are going to eat the shrimp. There's got to be something, though. There's something in this wacky world that is nature that fits that description. Maybe something like an autosynclus. Maybe. The other thing I could think of, what about like big snails? Like let's say mystery snails or Japanese trapdoors, and the bottom was filled with like rocks and stuff, so the eggs fell into the crevices where the snails couldn't get to. That's the other thing I could think of.
What about like rosy loaches or something? Are they?
Well, I think any crevice they can get into, they're going to eat an egg.
Oh, okay.
And I think the gardener eye. Well, I don't know what kind of killie, but a lot of the killies would be able to eat them. So.
All right. Lots of questions. Don't know which ones to pick out.
It is just a airstone in there, and it's not a sponge filter, mostly because I don't want to have to like toe the line and like bring it up because I can't get a bag underneath it. It's 40 inches, way longer than my arm, right? So I can't, like, I'm just going to slough off a bunch of stuff as I'm raising the anchor, so to speak. So that's why it's just an airstone in there. Yeah. I also got one up in the sump as well.
Everyone loves this, but I love it too, is when you do your voice when you're mocking
the crazy internet tester again. Not again. Yeah, somehow that started with my family. We've been doing it for years, me and my cousins, and yeah, I don't know.
Oh yeah, Justin does do that.
Justin will do it, and my cousin John, which you've never met, will do it. It's just something we've always done. Like, I mean, I guess I probably grew up just thinking like, oh yeah, whenever you're talking about someone else, they gotta have a funny voice. I don't know why.
Okay, one of my autos decided to start latching onto my mollies the other night. Oh, wow. I moved the majority of my molly fry from my big tank and moved that auto and friend out. Is it safe to move back?
You could try it. A lot of times when plecos or autos get a taste for that slime coat, they keep going after it. But you might be able to put it with a fish that won't allow it to happen. And yeah, it's usually a sign they're not getting enough food when a pleco or an auto is forced to start sucking on a slime coat. But a lot of times they don't go back from that because it's an easy food source and they like it and they don't know any better. So I would say try it again because one, you don't have that much to lose. But then if it doesn't work, then you're gonna have to figure out an alternative plan. What do you got in that tank behind you, Jimmy?
A betta and some snails. And when am I getting more fish?
Your light's like not even on, really.
Yeah, I turned it off because it's
really
really
so bad
bright.
at this game?
It's really bright. When am I getting more fish? I think when Corey gets his 125s in, I'll probably throw some fish into there.
Yeah, we can
There's
do
gonna
that.
be a lot of room for a lot of fish, I think.
In a perfect world today, which I'm not saying is a perfect world today, I've got some stuff I gotta do, like go to the airport, come back, and it's really hot, which Joel can attest to that, and Jimmy can attest to that. But in a perfect world, me and Jimmy are going to go He-Man mode and move the 280 acrylic tank out into the yard. I can spray it out, and then I can start buffing that thing. Now, usually what happens is by about 4 o'clock, I'm hot, I've run out of taco fuel, and it's time to watch Corvus Ocean. So, that happens. I've been trying to do that for about 3 days in a row, but I really want to get this 280 because I found a new way I want to run. I want to run like a certain type of bottom drain that I've never played with before. We'll run it bare bottom. I want to do goldfish. I think I want to do comet goldfish, but long fin, and I want it so that it pulls the water from the bottom inside, but then runs the 135 gallon as a sump and put it like right over here so I can watch it and, just explain it to you guys and maybe be ultra jealous, ultra jealous of my common goldfish tank. So we'll see if I can get that done. But if not, there's always tomorrow, which it gets even hotter tomorrow, unfortunately. But don't forget, I'm going to use this time don't forget, like, everything is on sale at Aquarium Co-op. So 10%, just use Labor Day 10 will straight up get you 10% off everything at the store. Everything. But then we've got other things that stack on with that. So you use that code and you get 10% off on plants. So that's 20%. You get 30% plus 10% on the catappa leaves. You get Easy Green 15% off, and some of you have been waiting to get your first Easy Green ever, and you've used Easy Green 25. That stacks with that as well. That's just a good deal. 15% off shirts, obviously stacks. Super glue gel, 15%. 10% off all the Aquarium Co-op foods, which most of you seem to like pretty good. Me too. And 10% off Nerite snails. Cure those algae problems wicked quick. But anyway, back to the thingies we do.
All right.
What was your first fish ever, Jimmy?
First thing that ever went to an aquarium was a crystal red shrimp.
That's the first thing you ever kept?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Well, I really liked it. Yeah.
How long ago was that?
That was in Ohio.
It's like 10 minutes ago?
Like 5-6 years ago. Technically, the first thing I ever kept was newts in an aquarium. Technically.
Okay, so if crystal shrimp were your first, what was the actual first fish?
Celestial pearl danias.
Were they from those ones you had at your house when I was there?
No, well, same store.
Oh.
Yeah. So they're so expensive over there.
My first fish ever. So I think I had a betta way back in the day, but so long ago I can't remember. But the first fish I got when I actually got into the hobby was the penguin or the hockey stick tetra. 6 of those bad mamma jammas. Yeah. Because I had to cycle my tank, and that was the advice I was given. So
Hope everything will be okay, JH. He's going to deal with a hurricane pretty soon.
where's JH at?
He's in the islands, on Virgin Islands.
I'm
South
so bad at
of
geography.
Florida, like really south of Florida.
So did that thing like, oh, look at this, we're going to take out Texas, and then what, go back down and be like, check it
I
out,
think
we're
they
coming
went-
back for...
Yeah, I think they went back the other way or something. I haven't been keeping up.
Yeah, I've been following Charles Clapsaddle on Facebook, and he's on day 8 with no power.
Oh,
So
man.
I don't think we're going to... Like, he had an upset, like something happened during the summer, and that's why we were going to go this month to go down and check out his farm. But I can't even muster myself to be like, so I know you don't have any power right now, but we still on for like 2 weeks. It's cool if we just crash your place, and so I gotta wait, which I want to go so bad. You guys saw the fish I got. It'll be really nice to go there because I've been wanting to go there for probably 5 years, and I never had the money or the justification. And it's never, like, I keep waiting for, like, a convention to happen in Texas. I don't think that's happening. So, wasn't the AGA one year, but I couldn't go. I think the AGA a couple years ago was, or something like that.
I want to go to a live bear convention.
I've been to
sounds
one.
cool.
I've been to one. It was really fun. If anyone's listening out there right now, if you put a live bear convention back in Florida, I will go there so hard. Because it was so fun to collect fish. I will bring every non-live bear nerd I can. I will build an army of people to show up to that convention because it's one of the top few things in my life ever related to fish was in Florida. That was a really, really good time. It was also my first convention, but it was a really, really fun time.
Kyle asked, Corey, do you have any plans to make sinking food?
So it's on the radar. The problem is I haven't found a blend that sinks well, that holds together well, that I want to sell. Does that make sense? So yeah, it is on the radar. I will say that. But I haven't focused in on it. I'm going to try. I'm going to look around some more again and see what I can come up with. Because I want some. I want to have some because, like, I would love to make some for make some, I guess. That's the way I usually make products. I'm like, dang it, I'm tired of buying this in bulk. I should just have it made for myself. And so as these clam lunches get bigger, I will be more and more like, dang it, what I want doesn't exist. I'm going to have it made. And then I'll have it made. I'll put the effort into it to get it done. But I do want to answer another question. Have I ever heard of the Cross River Puffer? Yes. I've never seen one. They are about the coolest looking puffer with all those like red dots and stuff on them. I've never seen one show up on a wholesale list, but they are wicked cool. So the answer is yes, and I would love to see one.
Is there a lineup schedule of guests to the live stream?
No, there's no schedule at all. What I found is that scheduling people was crazy stressful. Because if something came up on my end, it made it hard. Stuff was coming up on their end. I had people rescheduling, and it was getting weird. And so I don't schedule it, but I could definitely, like, tomorrow be like, oh, man, yeah, let's have Michael's Fish Room on here. Let's do that. For now, so what's going on? Let's be real here. Real talk. What's going on? We've been putting out less videos in the last week. Why? Because we need to build up. We're going to be traveling for almost 2 weeks on the road. So we got to build up some videos. So yesterday, what did we shoot? 3 videos? And the day before, we shot 2?
Yes.
So we made 5 videos in the last 2 days. We need to make videos and get them all lined up, get them all ready so that you guys don't go dark without Aquarium Co-op for 2 weeks and think we died. Then YouTube hates us, and then they'll start kicking puppies and kittens, and it gets out of control real fast. So it's our job to make sure that doesn't happen. And so we've been filming a ton, and yeah. So we've been focusing on that. The real goal, one day I'm going to say, Jimmy, it's time to have a talk. And I'm going to say, all right, let's make it so that I can wear headphones and I can hear the person we have on here, but I want to make it so people can call in, Skype us in, but then have 3 up on the screen, and you guys can see us all, and it's like the Brady Bunch, and it's super awesome. But I know that's going to take a little bit of technology. It's going to take at least 2 days of testing, because once Jimmy figures it out, we then got to have someone, phone a friend and call in, and we got to do that in private and go, oh my God, it's a train wreck. That ain't going to work.
Yeah, and there's
And
always
then we
like
gotta
cases
redesign
of
it.
malfunction with other people's side too.
Right,
and
yeah. that's the other thing. When it comes to scheduling other people, they're like, yeah, can I be on there? And then you like test before they get on live stream, and you're like, dude, your microphone and that motorboat that's going on in the background ain't going to work. So, it gets a little crazy. Any plans to get Dean on the stream? So, no joke, I have been trying to get Dean on camera as much as humanly possible.
This is true.
For the last 2 years straight. That guy is one busy dude. And I've been trying hard, but, like, every time I see that guy, I go, hey, when can I come over? Hey, you want to be on this thing? Hey, you want to do this? And he's like, oh, yeah, I could do that. And then life comes up. So now I think we're on, like, we're just waiting by the bat phone, and he's going to call us and be like, hey, my fish are landing today. You want to come film? And so I'm like, yeah. I do, because he's going to tell us all about being in Peru. He was in Peru for 10 days. We went over there right before he left. We gave him our GoPro to film a bunch of stuff, so hopefully there's cool stuff. And then I want to ask him all about that. I probably, you got to imagine the guy just got back from Peru. Now he's going to pick up all these fish. They got to go into tanks. So it's not a good time to be like, hey, buddy, so could we film for like 6 hours about angels or German blue rams? Instead, you got to drop the hint and be like, hey, man, everyone wants to see this. Could we do that? Like maybe next week? And he'll say, yeah, that sounds fine. And then I'm going to contact him next week, and he's going to be like, oh, turns out this came up. And then I'm going to contact him again, and eventually we will get it done. But that's why I asked you guys what you want to see first. Obviously, we all want to see it all. But being that this guy is crazy busy, I know it might take me 6 months to get those 2 great videos out. Because you saw his fish room. He's kind of a perfectionist. He's good at what he does. He wants to show like every stage of egg and every process of the German blue ram or stuff like that, so that when it's done, like that is like the go-to guide. Anyone could, do 1 + 2 + 3 = 6 type of guide. And I commend him for that. And he bought a camera to help, because I was like, well, I could leave cameras. He's like, well, I kind of want to buy one. He really wants to make like the best guide ever. That being said, when you do something at that level, it takes a long time. So that's why it's choose one or the other for now. Obviously, given a choice, I'd be like, yeah, let me download your brain into this video and share it with the internet. That is the ultimate goal.
I strive to be that guy one day. And not just fish-wise, just everything
He's a
else
cool
too.
dude. Cool, down to earth, super cool. I think Joel or Corvus Ocean, if you've never met Dean, you should. He teaches at the culinary school, traveled the world, just a genuine bang-up dude, and keeps fish, super down to earth. And I think you guys know this. There's like people you meet in the fish industry. Well, not in the industry, but like let's say your local store. You got the guy that's like, oh man, this guy's cool, and he keeps all kinds of stuff, and it's fun. And then you got the guy you meet where he has to tell you why his stuff are so cool. Oh man, you got to go see my this. Oh man, you got to get this. Oh man, I just spent this much on this. Hey, look at this. And that guy, like, you're listening to him, but you're like, geez, I got to get out of here. This guy, I always think like they're a lonely soul. They want people to appreciate what they got. I get it, but someone like Dean's the opposite. Like if you were to meet that guy, he'd be telling you like, yeah, mollies are sweet. Yeah, you should do that. Those are fun. I did those back in the 80s. Oh man, super fun. My daughter kept them. Like just a general dude. And then, you could just be like, oh yeah, I'm thinking about doing this. Yeah, so I did that. And then here's like the facility I did to do that. And you're like, what? This guy's got a never-ending vault of information. And he's not the kind of guy that's going to ram it down your throat, which that's the best part. It's not like, let me tell you how you're doing it wrong. He waits for you to go, hey, you ever done this, Dean? And then, he's kind of like, well, maybe once or twice. And then he wants you to qualify how much you want to know. Because he might have done like an insane amount, but he doesn't want to just bombard you with like, so there's 8 hours of information on how you breed discus for the maximum profit and to how to build houses and do all these things and build your empire. Or it could just be you're wanting to know like, how do I keep discus alive? And he could help you with that too.
Yeah, because every time you ask a question, and he goes, okay, elaborate, and then he'll break it down.
He does ask you to elaborate first. Yeah, he does ask you to elaborate first because he doesn't want to. Food. Yeah, he doesn't want to take you down the wrong thing if you don't want to hear it. So, yeah.
Who is Dean? What channel?
Dean doesn't really have a channel. He does. I think it's Dean's Fish Room. Like he'll comment on his own videos when he's back in town, but I don't think he's uploaded any videos.
Okay.
He doesn't have time for that.
Where can you buy Dean's fish? Corey has
My
some.
store and other local stores. He only sells to local stores, mostly because hobbyists are a waste of time. Now, it's not that he doesn't love hobbyists, but when he can walk into my store and I hand him $1,000, that is a pretty useful use of your time. We've already established this guy's crazy busy, right? Whereas the same amount of time, that's not true. It takes longer when you're like, oh, you'd like to buy a pair of angels? Come on over. And then they're going to want to be, talking for the next 6 hours because the fish room is awesome. And then at the end, he's a nice guy, so he's giving him some fish. Yeah, he got $40 off him, but he didn't get what he needed to get done for the day. So he pretty much only sells the stores because he's set up to turn out high numbers and be efficient. So, yeah, don't forget to hit that like button, please, and leave comments. Comments and likes.
Way over the hour.
I don't know about way over. That's an exaggeration, Jimmy.
So have you ever done this, Dean? Dean, brain dump. Yeah, pretty much.
I corner that guy as much as I can. When he comes into my store, we'll talk for at least an hour if I'm there, because it's just, we talk about stuff, and I give him fish. So I like his king tiger plecos, L333s. I basically go, hey, here's this group. I want you to breed it. And then what we'll do is he'll trade fish for the cost of them, and then I get like a spawn of them, and then I buy them from then thereafter. And we did the same thing with like the red or the koi angels and stuff like that, because he knows I'll buy stuff from him, and when I really want him to breed something, I'll track it down and get it to him, because we're both in the business to make money, and so he's good at breeding, I'm good at selling, and that's a pretty good match.
He's my man crush.
For sure. Yeah. He's my fish crush.
Yep. Let's see. How long until angels are sexually mature, and how can you tell?
I think it takes about a year. Some people say you can tell by anal fin, head shape. Depends if they're wild caught or heavily bred to get those colors. You can make educated guesses. But the best way is to watch them start pairing off or observe some breeding behavior at the store or a different breeder's house. Otherwise, I typically buy, like when we wanted to get Dean set up, I think we bought 18 of them, and we wanted to raise up pairs and select the best ones, and we sold off the rest. And that's the process we continue to go through to make it better and better. So.
Okay, so Simply Better really wants to know. I want to know about the cool minimalist tank shelving at the store. What is the max tank size that the only supported on the side rack could handle?
The largest that I've seen are 125 gallons done that way. The largest I've done are only the 20 gallons. I haven't done any ones larger than that, but I would, without hesitation, go up to probably at least 75s. I mean, probably even 125s. Now, keep in mind, it only works for glass tanks. You can't do that with acrylic. But yeah, it worked out really well for me. The biggest thing is how you build it out. It's way more difficult to build it the way I built it at the store than to have some of those structural things. I hear Dean's Fish Room is in the chat. Is that true?
I don't know. I think she's just pushing her buttons here. And is Kaylee in here?
Could be. She's at the store, I think. Dean, if you're here.
Oh, Dean's Fish Room from the co-op. Oh, is that really?
Oh, from the co-op? Is he at my store? He's probably, maybe he drove back from Canada. Could be. But Dean, if you're listening, let me know, man. I want to film that unboxing, and I want it to be, it's going to be so fun to watch the unboxing, because I have no idea what you caught and you brought back. Yeah.
Corvus wants to know what school he teaches at.
Well, we're not going to say that online, because I don't want anything weird to happen, and I don't know the name of it. But behind the scenes, I could probably find that out for you, Joel, or Corvus Ocean, and,
So Dean says yes, but I don't know what he says yes to.
All right, well, I'm going to say that it's yes to everything I've ever asked for.
Yes,
so he's going to be on the live stream. He's going to do both those videos I want to do. He's going to let me download his brain. We get to film that, all those things.
No pressure, Dean. No pressure. Let's see.
Super chat happening. Kim Sodas Aurelius, $2 for tacos or cameras, whatevs.
Oh yeah, I was saying whatevs a lot in the last live stream.
Whatev, it's cool.
All right. Any more questions that we can take?
Let's see. What else do we got? I really want to come down. Right now, literally, I got to go to the airport. Meanwhile, my sister-in-law is coming back from the airport. My mother-in-law is coming to stay with us for 2 weeks because that's what she does, and we have a good time. So I got family in town, but I do really want to go down and crash Corvus Ocean's live stream because I have a feeling with me and him in the same room on camera, things are going to get real weird real fast because he's got crazy voices for days. I got a crazy voice or two.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
He likes to do some singing. I don't like to do singing, but every once in a while I break out the weirdo voice, and I think it'll be fun. And so I don't know if it's in the next 2 weeks, but I definitely want to go crash his stream because I know he wants more people on his thing, and I have a good time. So, but it's all the way down in Tacoma, and there's this horrible thing called traffic, which sucks. Jimmy can attest to that, but it should be super duper fun. Any plans to get Joey on here? Hey, I would try to coordinate it with him if you wanted to. My door, I don't want to say is always open because I got a lot of things going on, but in general, I try to accommodate people. So the people that really want to get in on the live stream, I try to make it happen. But I don't want to commit to any specific times because I don't know. So
Jimmy's face when Corey said, "Let's have a talk," he looked like he was about to give him the birds and the bees talk.
Oh, no. Jimmy, the recording is happening.
I know you guys love those little bits I put on when the title comes up.
Oh, man.
It's hilarious.
What do glassworms do? They basically squiggle around in the water until a fish eats them. That's mostly what they do. Yeah.
Is Hydra really a problem?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like oh my God, got to go put that fire out problem, but I think long term, it's probably not where I want to have in my aquarium. I would get a fish that would eat them probably is what I would do. Yeah. $6.66 super chat from Randy S. Best plants for crazy alkaline and hard water and a pH 8.4. So one that I would be keeping if I had super hard water, because I can't keep it in my soft water, would be Pogostemon helferi, which is also known as down eye, little carpeting plant that looks rad. It likes hard water. I would also do African fern bulbitis. I would do crinums and things like that. I would do Vallisnerias and Nubiuses, and probably try some other things too. But, yeah.
Okay, Tim from Majestic Animal says, how important is the top trim of the integrity of a 125 glass tank?
That would depend on how that tank is built. In general, I'm always a little bit iffy if we're missing something. It's like, well, if we're missing the trim, what else has happened to this tank in its life? It's kind of like, if Jimmy came to us and he's missing an arm, be like, what have you gone through to be missing an arm, buddy? You got some emotional baggage coming with that? And same thing. Like, let's say that thing's missing the top trim and it was stored, like, all wonky and put pressure on the seams or something like that. So, in general, I like to have all my parts there working when I'm working on a big tank like that because it feels right. So, I would either silicone in a piece of glass if you had to or buy a new trim and replace it.
Are honey gouramis smaller than dwarf gouramis?
I feel like they're a little bit smaller. Not like crazy smaller, but yeah, I would say a little bit smaller.
Can I sing again? No, I'll get fired.
I could put some food in the 800-gallon.
Yeah, let's watch that.
I'll do that. I'm going to go get food.
Hang the Lakers banner in the background already. Am I going on the hike with Joel? I really want to. It's I think he said it was on the 14th, and that kind of hike is like either a 3-4 day hike, I'm guessing. If you can do it in 2, that's pretty amazing. But I'm guessing it's a 3-4 day hike. I've been reading a lot about it. What else? Best Goodied? The trout Goodied?
What about it?
Best Goodied.
The best Goodied? Trouts are like my faves.
Yeah, those are really colorful.
There's some other ones that are really cool, but they're harder to keep. So, I'm about to feed on the live stream. Now, this is for everyone that's going to call me an idiot, because everyone goes, you feed too much. I'm going to show you. This is 4 ounces of bloodworms, and I want you to watch how fast the tiger barbs take it out. So this is why I have to feed so much, because I'd like those clown loaches to get to eat every once in a while. So that's why I got to do it.
Can you yell surprises?
Surprises!
All right, Kang Lee with the $5 super chat. We talked about you earlier, buddy. So if you want to rewind, you could listen to it. Talk about you behind your back. Thanks for always keeping my mind on the lighter side. Love the streams. Keep them going. Well, thank you very much, Kang Lee. That will go to the tacos we are going to devour today. Hi, Jamie. How is it living in Washington? I wouldn't know. I live in a garage. I'm here. Like, people were telling me about the Hurricane Irma, and I had no idea about it. Like, when I was living on my own in Ohio, I had some extra free time. I would know about every current event, everything like that, but now that I'm here, I am in front of the computer mostly all day long, but I'm not on Facebook or anything. My other monitor is on House of Cards, and this is my editing monitor, so...
We'll put it on full screen so they can see.
Full screen...
Like or at least...
Oh, yeah.
Make it bigger. Make it do things.
Just Corey.
So yeah, they're going to polish that off in probably the next 60 seconds or so. And almost none of the worms are making it to the bottom, really. And so that's kind of a problem when you want to feed a giant horde of clown loaches. So normally I got to feed even more. And keep in mind, they already fed, so you eat at 10 o'clock. And, that's a lot of food already. And they're still starving. So you can see just that giant horde back there where the power head blew it to. They finished it off back there. There's still one piece up here. But I can easily feed the other 4-ounce pack here. So it's 8 ounces. Pretty darn easy. I mean, if I can, Hikari, make these easier to open. These things are the bane of my life. I have to usually snap them in half because they never want to come open for me. And scissors, don't even get me started. That's my wife. I lose scissors faster than anything. So there we go. Oh, there's the draft cat. Luann. She was just out. Of course, you can't see it, but probably can't even hear me at this point. I gotta talk louder! Surprises! But yeah, it's a good time feeding all those guys. I enjoy it quite a bit. You got Freddy up there mowing on some bloodworms. I need to put the reticulated hillstream loaches in there, and then there's some. Oh, the flaketail Parachalotus too. I want to get that in there. Yeah. Squeeze the bottom like a popsicle. I was like it. I don't know. It doesn't work. I'm horrible at opening them. I'm bad.
It's a lot of bloodworms.
It is a lot of bloodworms, but that's the only way that the clown loaches get any, because there's still a bunch.
The draft cat's out.
Oh yeah, draft cat is way out. I don't know if anyone can see it. Way in that corner over there. Yeah. To get those bottom dwellers to really eat well, there's a lot of clown loaches that don't like to go up to the top yet. They haven't learned to eat from the top. And so to get them, they love to feed right down here, actually. Like right here. That's their favorite open eating spot. And to get it by all the...
How much money do you think that tank consumes a month?
So there's some pellets. That's probably not very much. And then I can easily feed one of these a day. I think we retail that for $8. But let's say you were buying in super bulk. You were getting them at like $6. So honestly, I'm probably feeding this tank, if you don't include power and all that, probably I bet you like $180. Is that right? If it's $6 a day and I put one of those in there, yeah, I would say that's a reasonable thing. About $180. Retail. Obviously, I get it cheaper because I own a store, but I probably still would do it. Like, who puts me to shame is Benjamin Tran. That guy's got like 1,500 clown loaches, and he feeds way more. It's impressive. I'm jealous. I'm not going to lie. I'm jealous. And, but yeah, you can see that giraffe cat, enjoy that giraffe cat now because it's little and it's cute. Give it like 6 months when it becomes a monster, and you'll be like, that thing's eating all the food. Hey, quit it. So right now, adorable, cute, not a monster. When it turns into a monster, yeah. So it's enjoyable. I could thaw it first, but I actually found when I tested it, this is just me, when I tested it, when I thawed it first, tiger barbs got more of it. It does better when they like the majority of them rally around one chunk, and then the rest thaw and go down in. When it's a free-for-all, there's, hundreds of tiger barbs just gobbling them as fast as they start dropping, and so it's a real frenzy. But yeah, I actually suspect I need to be feeding even more. So yeah, you can't hear Jimmy because it's on the full screen of me at the moment. So I suppose we're about done watching. We can bring on the Jimmy Pop. Jimmy's back.
I say we go over the Labor Day sale one more time.
All right, we'll do it. Someone's got to pay for these bloodworms. So we got Labor Day 10 gets you 10% off the entire store. That's a pretty easy one. And then you've got 10% off plants. That just happens no matter what. You don't even got to put a code in. So that 10% code stacks with that. That's cool. In fact, it stacks with all these. We got 30% off Catappa leaves. We've got 15% off Easy Green fertilizers, even the root tabs and the Easy Iron and the Easy Carbon and all those thingies. 15% off shirts, 15% off super glue, 10% off Aquariumcoop foods, and 10% off the Nerite snails. So yeah, I would say buy everything you can. Spend all of your money with us so that we can feed more clown loaches and make more cool things happen and the world go round. That's what I think. I feed Fry 10 times a day. Yeah, I feed a lot. More Val. So Candy, literally once I end this live stream, I'm looking up to see if the plane has landed for the plants. If so, I'll be driving to get them. Then I'll be driving them straight back to the store, and we'll be entering them in. So my guess is like 4 hours from now, we will have a lot more plants in stock. That being said, on Monday, we also get more plants. I'll be going to the airport again on Monday for more plants. And then I think there's some more stuff coming into stock too, like Easy Green and stuff. I think that's landing today. Like we sold a few hundred bottles yesterday, and so there was more on the way already. So if it's out of stock, it will be back in stock. Rest assured.
Have you been contacted from any TV networks?
No. Like one, but it was shifty. Like it was not good. Yeah. So like one, but yeah, it was. I wouldn't say it was that serious or anything. I mean, at least I thought. I was like, this thing looks shady. So. Not really into that.
Everyone says Benji gets a lot of stick for his fish tank, but it's a really cool tank. Yeah.
That's the thing is, if you do anything cool, well, that's not true. If you do anything in the fish hobby, I don't care what it is, someone out there is hating on you. Whether it's 10,000 gallon aquarium with one goldfish, they're going to say, how dare you waste that tank? If it's a goldfish in a 20 gallon, someone's saying, hey, how dare you put it in that tank? That's the thing is, we have polarized so much that you cannot please everyone. So try and please yourself. If you please yourself with your aquarium, you are doing much better than most hobbyists. And that's what I'm doing. So many people say, oh, you moron, you put tiger barbs and clown loaches. I would have done this. And I always think, yeah, good. Go do that. That's exactly what you want. It's like you pull up to every car next to you and you go, you know what? That's not a white Honda Fit. You're a moron. Like everyone's got personal choices. And, we buy what we like. We do what we like. So that's what I would say. Do what you like. Try not to hate on other people what they like. Like, just because Jimmy likes to eat sushi doesn't make him an idiot. Just means he likes sushi. I don't like sushi. I'm okay with knowing he likes sushi and I don't. I get it. So,
Do you sell your product Easy Green anywhere else, like at Walmart or anything? Or is it just online at your store? It's, I believe, in Colorado. The store is in Washington. And no, I don't believe
only on mine. I tried on some other places, did not work out well. So only on my website. Yeah. So.
Cool fish store tour. Thank you, Tim.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I have a behind the scenes vlog of that store. Don't know when I'm gonna release it, but it's gonna be like a bonus video.
Yeah.
That's a pearl white Honda Fit. Darn it.
That's right. That's right. Pearl white, smooth as silk.
When are you doing a fish room update next?
It's edited, right?
It's done.
I don't know when it's coming out. It's pretty boring and bad. I'll tell you that right now. Get your hopes down. But it is edited and ready to come out. I just don't know when. Maybe next week. Maybe.
Yeah.
Don't hold me to it, though. Don't go hating on me. Nothing worse than that.
Labor Day 10.
Do I want to sell to stores on the East Coast? No, I don't. Most people want to sell my Easy Green. The problem is I don't agree with most store owners' business practices. And so I'm an elitist in that aspect of people love to make money. They don't love to provide the support and the nurturing behavior. And I know that my staff will offer that. And my goal is to actually help the hobby and not just help people's pocketbooks, which most people that want to carry my product, that's why they want to do it. Because if they didn't want to do that, they would develop their own fertilizer and just do what I'm doing. So that is my recommendation.
Corey and Jimmy, who are your favorite King of the Hill characters? I like Boomhauer.
Boomhauer? How do you not love Dale Gribble?
Dale's pretty funny.
I mean, pocket sand.
So
like there's so many quotes like pocket sand and okay, hold on.
Well, if I strive to be
I love Dale, but I model my life after Hank Hill.
True.
I mean, I just try to do things right. I always think about like when he's watching his neighbor. Who was it? Someone was building a fence and it was killing him and he was doing it wrong, so he had to go do it. That's kind of like me. I want to be that way where I'd rather go and help someone do it right than watch it be done wrong.
That's kind of like Ron Swanson too.
Ooh, I do love Ron Swanson. Yeah, that's a good one. But all right, I think we should end this because I do actually have legitimate work I got to do today. Unfortunately, it is so hot. For whatever reason, I sweat profusely during a live stream. It's not stressful. I don't know why. Whereas it's hot in here, but it's hot in here no matter what. So like if I was just sitting here ordering stuff, doing my internets, no sweating. But when I do all this talking, maybe it's my brain. My brain just starts overheating and it travels down to me being a sweaty guy. So I like to stop before I completely melt into nothing.
I believe that.
So.
All right, so you can close it out.
Yes. Can I interest you in any aquariums or aquarium-related accessories? But thanks for hanging out, guys. I like this format. I had a bunch of fun today, and I'm not going to say I don't have fun on the other ones, but when, like, for instance, I got to defend myself against axolotl nerds after the fact, that's not very fun. So I don't really have to defend myself on stuff like this because it was all opinion-based. I had a good time. People must have had a good time. They did the super chats. We did some laughing. I broke out the weirdo voices. And promoed Corvus Ocean, which
Dean stopped in.
Dean was here. Yeah, that's a good time.
Celebrities.
You guys get to know what's going on behind the scenes, and we get to talk a lot more instead of me like, okay, I gotta fill up 30 minutes with puffer questions, and then I can start having some fun. So yeah, but I had fun. Hopefully, you guys buy some of our crap. That would be awesome. And put my cousin Justin to work. Which, if you guys didn't know, by the way, Justin, who works at the store, is my cousin. Put Justin and Kaylee to work today and tomorrow. And if you order, what's today? Mail might have gone out by now. But there's going to be a lot of shipping going down on a Tuesday because Monday is a holiday and there's no shippings. So Tuesday is going to be brutal. I'm going to have to buy some coffees and everything for everyone so that they don't hate me and leave me. But I think it's a worthy trade-off. You guys buy all the stuff. I buy them coffees and sing praises to them as they pack, and I pack along with them, and we all have a good time. And then we do it again next month. What do you guys think? So we'll see you next Saturday. I'm going to say might. I'm not committing to it yet. I might do another fun live stream on Monday on the main channel just to promote this sale one last time. But I brought it here first so you guys can get all the good gettings. And buy all the the things you want to get before we tell 80,000 people and they go, oh my God, I got to get the gettings. So thanks for hanging out, guys. We'll see you next Saturday, if not sooner.
Make sure to hit the like.
Ooh.